Welcome back to this video about expertise and expert performance. Our main focus, our goal if you prefer, is expert performance. We have already seen that by narrowing our attention to performance, we fail to develop it. But we do know that world-class expertise and performance is the outcome we would certainly want to have in the end. So it is in order now to see in a bit more detail what exactly this expertise is we value so much. Let us define expertise and use this definition as our starting point. Expertise is a set of skills that allow us to achieve repetitively superior and superiorly repetitive performance in a given representative task. What does this mean exactly? First of all, expertise is a set of skills that may be developed and not any innate ability that God or nature gave us. Then anyone can do one perfect golf swing, but can we do 100 perfect golf swings in a row? And can we do them not in our backyard, but in front of thousands of fans during a major competitive event? That kind of performance is superior, is repetitive, and is representative of a formally recognized professional domain. Already, this definition implies that expertise is both a social and a biological phenomenon or construct. What changes must happen in my body and in my psychology so as to be able to perform complex skills consistently and while being in psychological pressure? This part, the psychomotor part, is the main focus of the digital method. What learning strategies should we use to be able to perform like this, like a pro? Now, about the social part. The word superior is a value judgment. Who decides what superior is? In sports, for example, what is superior? To throw a javelin far away or as high as possible? We all know that horizontal distance is what we measure, what matters. But that is just a convention. It is not at all certain that if we were to measure another parameter, then the same athletes would have the same success they have now. Or mathematics. Is it more important to solve a problem even if it takes 50 years? Or is it more important how fast one solves it? Both seem to be important for different reasons. Superiority is always relative, but performance should also be representative. Expertise must also exist in this society and be socially acceptable. What do I mean by that? There are both javelin and mathematics competitions. However, one cannot be an expert in door opening. This skill might be of interest for physiotherapists who treat stroke patients, but there is no competitive door opening. It's not a professional activity per se. Or torture. Unfortunately, there are people whose work during a war is to torture other people. We all know that. Actually, during a war, it is a career many have chosen and even got well paid for that. However, it is not socially acceptable as a formal expertise domain, and one cannot openly study it in a university. Of course, I guess Secret Service agents might get some relevant training, but it is not like they are receiving a certification or a degree for that. So to recap, there is a sociological approach to expertise, and there is also a biological approach to it. On one hand, who does a society consider to be an expert and with what criteria? And on the other hand, what happens in the body of an expert that allows him or her to perform so well? The social approach is of interest because we usually want to not only be experts, but also to be accepted as experts. Two very different things. In sociology, there are two main disciplines connected to expertise: studies of expertise and experience, see for example Collins and Evans, and science and technology studies, or science, technology, and society studies, both abbreviated as STS, originating from social studies of science, SSS, Woolgar, for example, 1991. On the other hand, there is science of exceptional achievement, as Erickson and Gopal, Roaring, Odd, and Tony have showed in their research. But is there just one type of expertise? No. Many researchers, such as K. Erickson and Harry Collins, have described a series of expertise types. For example, there are, firstly, the well-known to everybody contributory experts. I mean, not the word contributory, but as an idea. This is the type of expertise we usually mean when we refer to experts. They have studied a formal curriculum, they have gained degrees and certificates, and they are so good at their domain that they are able to contribute. For example, scientists produce research papers and books and lectures, while tennis players produce spectacle that is of so high quality that one is eager to even pay to see it. Or other athletes break world records and contribute to the advancement of their sport. Secondly, now, there are the interactional experts. All those people that gain expertise through immersion within a culture and without formal education. Let us approach this type of expertise through examples. A biologist, researcher who uses chemistry a lot is an interactional expert in chemistry. A philosopher that specializes in bioethics is usually an interactional expert in medicine. A tennis player is an interactional expert in tennis coaching, and a tennis coach is an interactional expert in tennis playing. A straight guy that has many gay friends is an interactional expert in gay culture and could very convincingly act as a gay if he would like to. It is sort of a Turing test. Without being linguists, we all are interactional experts in our mother language. A word of caution here. Interactional experts cannot, I repeat, cannot develop others to become contributory experts, while contributory experts can develop both interactional and contributory experts if they are contributory experts in teaching as well. Experiential expert. Another type of expert, the last one we are going to see here, is the experiential one. You see, there was a problem in research. Take a shepherd who has been in an ecosystem for decades. He is not a contributory expert in agriculture or in forest biology, and he is neither an interactional expert. He hasn't been talking to many scientists to understand or to copy their scientific terminology. You see, interactional experts can express themselves as contributory experts. To express themselves, talk with peers or with contributory experts, and the contributory experts cannot know that they are not contributory experts. For example, let's not go to science, let's go to social interactions. If someone is straight and has many gay friends, the straight guy can act as a gay, and the gay person will be deceived and think that he's gay as well without him being a gay. That's an example, and this happens also in sciences, like when a biologist is an interactional expert in chemistry, so he can use the terminology that chemists use without being a chemist and without, for example, being able to contribute writing a formal paper in chemistry. Okay, of course, he can't do that in biology. He can write scientific and research papers there. So let's go back to the Shepard example. We cannot just say that he has no expertise at all concerning the ecosystem he has been interacting with for decades. We cannot say that he's not a contributory expert, okay? He's not an interactional expert, he's not an expert at all. No, it would be unfair to say that. To the contrary, contributory experts should actually get his advice and respect his knowledge of his ecosystem. He may have no PhD in zoology or geology, but he is what we call an experiential expert. So, for example, if a highway were to go through an ecosystem, it would be very wise to ask local shepherds about what to do and what not to do, and not just decide for them. They are people living there for decades and they know details and understand the ecosystem uh, in a way better than a top scientist can or will ever understand it in terms of experience and how it works in practice. One of my most important works is related to a notion that is extremely important. It is as important as the notion of specialization, and for various reasons it has disappeared nowadays, even though in classical antiquity, Greek classical antiquity, it was the most respected kind of expertise. Generalization, and I have it here if you can see, specialization and generalization. So, what are expert generalists? Many of you have heard the terms polymath or homo universalis. Well, this is not it. Expert generalists are not individuals who know a bit about everything. They are individuals who have a deep understanding of concepts, ideas, methodology, and logic, versus specialists who usually thrive when it comes to percepts, experiences, experiments, and statistics. Theory has nothing to do with experiments or experience, but it is the foundation of knowledge since it predetermines the way we both conceive and perceive reality, not the other way around. Classical antiquity recognized that. Modern neuroscience supports it. A word of caution here. Because the difference between specialists and generalists is actually a technical one, that is, the difference between experience and surveillance, one might want to read the full article explaining this in greater detail. Links in the sources. Okay, let us now move on to the next video and discuss the characteristics of experts and of expertise. See you in a while.